Yeah.
I got a little story that I picked up from one of our producers.
Okay, read it.
What is your understanding of what happened with the Cobalt-60 in Mexico?
I have no understanding of the Cobalt-60 in Mexico.
But you remember how it was presented, right? It was kind of like, oh, some guy stole a truck and...
Well, it was presented as, well, it depends on what the outlet was, but I think the general presentation was the guy stole a truck and it accidentally, unknown to the guy, had a bunch of Cobalt-60 in it, and the guy had to be careful because he'd kill himself if he came in contact with the stuff. So the truck was just laying casually around, and the guy took it because he was a truck thief. That's all I know. What do you have?
Here's what I have from an anonymous source.
Boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground. Boots on the ground happens to be an EOD expert. EOD is these are the explosive guys who go clean stuff up when it's explosive. And they were called, he was called to duty, be at base in an hour. And he wound up, and I can't even tell you where he was, what state, because that might compromise him. But it turns out he was not alone. There were 300 EOD experts gathered within that hour.
Okay.
300 is probably half, if not 70% of all the top EOD experts in the country. This is not just a couple guys from one state. They were then flown on 10 Chinooks down to Mexico. And apparently there had been a firefight. So there were dead guys around. The reason why they needed 300 of these guys is because you can only really handle or be around as they had to clean it up, this cobalt, for 5 minutes, and then they have to switch out. Some other guy has to take over. And the story that I'm getting back is that this really was someone who had stolen or acquired this Cobalt-60 to place into a bomb, to essentially make a dirty bomb. And that this has been covered up, certainly for the media. I don't know if it's a cover-up in general, but for the media, it's been covered up. And that this really was a serious attack. And I'm surprised.
Well, that could be. I mean, it's not within the 6-week cycle.
No.
So they try to minimize things because you don't want to alarm
you guys
the public.
Are too early. Stop that.
So anytime something real happens, which this may be, sounds like at least it was taken very seriously. But it's not in this. It's not in the script. So you got to just go take care of it and shut up. Tell people to shut up about it because we don't want anyone getting too freaked out.
Exactly.
So there was a firefight, which means the government some army, people who tracked this stuff, and then the stuff got thrown out of the truck. What happened?
No, I think the guys stole it, and they were on their way to their lair or whatever to create their bomb, which was apparently to be used in the United States, and they were stopped by the authorities, whether it's Mexican or U.S., I don't know. And there was a firefight, and they killed him, and then they had to clean up the mess, and that was the Cobalt-60 that was left over.
Well, there's a missing piece of the puzzle.
Well, there's a lot of missing pieces. Which one are you referring to?
The missing piece for me is the Cobalt-60 was in a container of some sort. What happened? How did it get scattered, or was the container rolling down the hill and it broke open? I mean, what specifically?
The way I understand it is in the firefight. It opened up or the container opened, whatever. Well, maybe the container was never opened. It's still, this stuff is so radioactive or so toxic that you can't, even when you have your hazmat suit and everything, you still can't be around it for too long, which is why they had to have so many guys rotating to clean it up. So there was a cleanup of sorts. I don't know. I didn't even know what Cobalt-60 looks like. I mean, was it powder? I mean, I don't know. Is it goop like toothpaste? I have no idea. So I don't have all the information.
We will have to do some follow-up on this. This is a good story.
Well, and unfortunately, this is about all I can say because I've really been. This is all I can say. This is all I know, but it's also all I can say. I don't know if we'll get any more. But
we can find out about Cobalt-60 a little bit
for sure.
And what's it used for normally, and why was it being driven around in a truck?
Medical purposes. It was supposed to be disposed of. So radiation device or something like that for cancer. I think that's what they use it for.
You're just making it up.
What?
I see you're just making it up. You don't know what it was used for.
No, I asked specifically what was it used for, and that was the answer I got.
What, medical?
Yeah. Yeah, Cobalt-60. No, I'm pretty sure. We can, we'll just... Consult the Book of Knowledge. Cobalt-60. It is here we go. Radioactive isotope, yes. Applications. Sterilization of medical equipment. There you go. Radiation source for medical radiotherapy. I'm not a total dick. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
I know. I'm listening. I thought there was more to it.
I know. I didn't hear you breathing, so I didn't know. Radiation source for food irradiation, blood irradiation, radiation source for laboratory mutagenesis use. Let's see, safety, and then they have, of course, that's the... Oh, here it is. In December 2013, a truck carrying a disused 111 TBQ Cobalt-60 teletherapy source from a hospital in Tijuana to a radioactive waste storage center was hijacked at a gas station. There you go. The source was found abandoned and intact in a field close by. See, that's the part that we don't know about.
That's the bull crap.
That's the bull crap part. 18 and 19. Mexico informs theft of dangerous radioactive. Yeah, I mean, also the fact that our guys had to go in at all, that meant something. I mean, what? Yeah, the Mexican authorities can't find a hijacked truck? No, we had something to do with it. Or there was something about it for us.
Well, I'm surprised the story was completely suppressed.
Well, I was surprised.
It really
too.
Makes you wonder, how much of this is scripted, and everything goes off script. It's just repressed.
But that is the annoying thing. Why can't we? Why can't we know that? They want to scare us. Why can't we? That was a good one. I'm like, yeah, go Chinook guys, go EOD guys. That's now I'm happy about what we. Are you clipping your toenails?
No. Oh. It was a ballpoint pen.
Oh. So I'm really happy when I hear these stories, but why can't we know that? And why do we have to hear the bullcrap one? Like we found, the underwear bomber. Or why do they have to make all that stuff up when the truth is so good? It's like the fracking. It's all of that.
I find it to be very peculiar.
Yeah, why can't they just tell us?
And I believe the story. I believe this guy is part of the team that went in there.
Yeah.
And then had to deal with this mess. I don't know. Maybe it's to keep the terrorist mind, to keep the terrorists off, because now they already stole it, so they already knew something.
Right.
I don't know. Don't want to give anybody any ideas. I have no idea.
All right, referring back to our donations, and besides, I forgot.
Dvorak.org/NA.
I think I forgot to remind you